Hello folks, we come to the part 9 video of this exercise 5.1 and this is question number 23, which says that f of x is sin x by x when x is less than 0 and is x plus 1 when x is greater than 0. We have to find the points of discontinuity. As we have always told that because the function is defined in different ways on both sides of 0. So first we will check continuity at 0 and then we will check whether it is continuous elsewhere. That's how we are going to do it. So let's first understand this function. This function is at x equal to 0, on the left side of the 0, the function is defined as sin x by x, and on the right side it is defined as x plus 1. So on the onset, let's get the values. Consider the limit as x goes to 0 minus f of x, means left side of 0. Let's see what it is. It is defined as sin x by x. Already in the limits chapter last year, we have already seen that limit as x tends to 0, sin x by x is always 1. This is being learnt by us, so we know that this value is 1. Now we will see what happens on the right side. Limit as x tends to 0 plus f of x is going to be limit as x tends to 0, because the function is defined as x plus 1, we substitute 0. So it is 0 plus 1, 1. 0 at 0 it is defined as x plus 1. So let's find out how it is defined at 0. F at 0 is 0 plus 1, 1. What we conclude here, therefore limit as x tends to 0 minus f of x is equal to limit as x tends to 0 plus f of x, that is equal to f of 0. Therefore f is continuous at x equal to 0. So that is done. Now we will check what happens when x is at all the places where x is less than 0. We know that when x is less than 0, the function is defined as sin x by x, right? Sin x is continuous. Then x being a polynomial function is continuous, or either polynomial or identity, it is continuous. So we have learned in algebra of continuous functions that ratio of continuous functions are continuous. So therefore f of x, that is sin x by x, is continuous. Why? Because it's a ratio of two continuous functions. These are continuous functions. So at x equal to 0, it is continuous. Now let's check what happens at x greater than 0. At x greater than 0, the function is defined as x plus 1. That means it's a polynomial function. And polynomial function is continuous everywhere. So it's a polynomial function, therefore continuous. So at x greater than 0, it is continuous. At x less than 0, it is continuous. At x equal to 0, also it is continuous. So therefore, the function is continuous everywhere. So f is continuous on R, or it's continuous everywhere on R. That's it. So that's about the continuity. We have an identical problem in the next 24th problem, which says that f of x is defined as x squared sine 1 by x, and it is defined as 0. That is the case when x is not 0. When x is 0, it is defined as 0. So there is a change in values at x equal to 0. So automatically it prompts us to find out the value, the limiting value of this function on the left side and the right side of 0, and check whether first it is continuous at 0. The moment it is continuous at 0, we will check for the continuity at other points. So let's see how to go about it. Let's first consider the limit as x tending to 0. Now here, because it's given as not 0, there's no point of taking it as 0 negative or 0 minus. That means left side of 0, right hand side of 0. That's not necessary, because that's how the function is defined. So let's just consider limit as x tends to 0 f of x. What will come? Limit as x tends to 0 x squared sine 1 by x. We have learned that x tending to 0 means x is close to 0, though x is not 0, but it can be substituted as 0. So let's have that substitution done. So what will happen? This will become 0 squared into sine 1 by 0. Right. Now sine 1 by 0 technically is infinity, but sine has got a property that the value of the sine is always between minus 1 and 1. So that way, in some sense, this is finite. And 0, there is one part of the story. Other thing is that 0 is going to dominate over the sine, because 0 into anything is always 0. Like that, overall the value is going to be 0. The function's value is going to be 0 here. So we've got limit as x tends to 0, f of x as 0. We also try to find out what is f of 0. F of 0 is 0. That's directly given in the definition. So what do we conclude? Therefore, limit as x tends to 0 f of x is f of 0. Therefore, f is continuous at x equal to 0. Okay, how about elsewhere? Elsewhere, it is defined as x squared into sine 1 by x. Now, x squared is a polynomial function, sine 1 by x is a trigonometric function, and the product of two continuous functions is continuous. So, like that, it is continuous elsewhere also. So, at x not 0, let's write x squared. Here, x squared is a polynomial function, therefore continuous. Okay, and sine 1 by x is a trig function, trigonometric function, therefore continuous. Therefore, f of x, which is x squared sine 1 by x, being product of continuous functions, is continuous. Right? So what did we get? We got that the function at 0 is continuous and elsewhere also it is continuous. As a result, it is continuous on the entire real number line. So therefore, f is continuous on R. Right? That has been our strategy throughout. What we used to do is trouble creating point we will check, and then the other points also we will check, and then we'll generalize whether it is or whether it is not. Right? That's about it. We are moving to the next question, where they say that f of x is defined as sin x minus cos x when x is not 0 and it is minus 1 when x is 0. We have to check whether it is continuous or not. So same thing, we will check around 0 first and elsewhere we will check. So let's consider the limit as x tends to 0 f of x. It has been our habit to check whenever the function is defined as a variation at a certain point, then at that place we will check first, and then other places we will find out whether it is that way or not. So, limit as x tends to 0 sin x minus cos x. We have learned from time immemorial, like if you have x tending to something, we are substituting. So, what will happen? Sin 0 minus cos 0. Sin 0 we know is 0, cos 0 we know is 1. So, finally net effect value is minus 1, and f of 0 directly they have given as minus 1. So, what do we conclude? Limit as x tends to 0 f of x is coming as f of 0. Therefore, f is continuous at x equal to 0. Okay, it's continuous at x equal to 0. Now, we have to check the remaining things at other points. So, at x not equal to 0, what happens? We look at this function sin x cos x. Sin x is continuous, cos x is continuous. Algebra, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division is continuous. So, therefore, here sin x comma cos x being trig functions are continuous. Therefore, f of x, which is sin x minus cos x, is continuous, being difference of continuous functions. Right? So, therefore, f is continuous at x not equal to 0 and x belongs to R actually, or a not equal to 0 at x, yeah, we've told x, so let it be x. So, f is continuous on R. Now, everywhere it is continuous. So, first we took 0, found out then. Now, till now we were checking all that continuity and all. In between, one or two problems we did where continuity was given and we were asked to find values. Now, we are coming to that same idea where they give us a continuity but they ask us to find an unknown. So, the function is continuous at x equal to pi by 2, but you have to find out the value of k in this particular case. So, we have to see how it is. See, given that, right, given that, they have given us continuity. They have given that limit as x tends to pi by 2 f of x is f at pi by 2. That's given to us. So, f at pi by 2 is very clear, it's 3. And what is this? Limit as x tends to pi by 2 k cos x by pi minus 2x, right? But there's a small problem here. When we substitute x as pi by 2, this will become pi by 2, 2 cancel, pi minus pi 0. Denominator becomes 0. Once the denominator becomes 0, we are not able to solve and get the value of k. So we will see if something else can be done. And most of these trigonometric cases, generally some other substitution does help. So in order to get rid of this situation, we will make a substitution u as pi by 2 minus x. There are several repercussions to this. This means that u is pi minus 2x by 2, or it means that 2u is pi minus 2x. It also means that x equal to pi by 2 minus u, many things. Any of these we will require. Also, as x goes to pi by 2, what happens to u? X goes to pi by 2 means very close to pi by 2, almost pi by 2. So u will go to 0. U will be also not 0 but very close to 0. So like that. So now what will happen is, therefore, if we are changing this according to, we cannot work with the variable x and u together. We have to either work with x totally or we work with u totally. So now since x was not working for us and we were not getting a proper answer, we thought of shifting to u. So when you shift to u, wherever x is, all x's should be replaced by u. So let's do that. First we are doing the limit. Limit is becoming now u going to 0. K cos x we cannot keep, but instead of x you can keep pi by 2 minus u. And here pi minus 2x you have. There, pi minus 2x is 2u. You got it. That is equal to 3. Now how do we work this? Limit as u goes to 0. We know that cos pi by 2 minus anything is going to be sine. So this is going to be sine u by 2u equal to 3. We all know that constants can move out of the limit. So k by 2 will coolly go out and you will have limit as u tends to 0, sin u by u equal to 3. This is a good old friend which we just applied now. We know that the limiting value under limiting conditions and under limit as the variable goes to 0, sin u by u is going to be 1. So we know that this value will become 1 because of that property. So k by 2 into 1 is 3. So what is k? K is 3 into 2, 2 goes there. K becomes 6. Very interesting. Otherwise, if we would have substituted it here, we one of the earlier problem we said lambda cannot be found out. We would have said okay cannot be found out, but it's not like that. We have to see, there are cases when you cannot find it, but there are cases when you can find it by a substitution, then you should be able to do it. So that's how it is. We have a series of problems where we have to find the value of k that we will be taking it up in the next video. Thank you.